Name?
Yeah, Nick Seemann, Seemann.
We're all making a note. We didn't realize you had two N's at the end there.
Okay.
Do you live in the Quad City area?
Yes.
How long have you lived in this area?
I was born here. The only time I haven't lived here was when I was in Ames for college.
Okay. Did you know Taylor Escontrias?
Yes.
How did you know Taylor?
She was a friend of mine since high school.
Okay. Did the two of you end up dating at some point?
No, we never dated.
All right. I guess, have you been, after you get out of high school, did the two of you stay in touch?
Yeah, we would occasionally talk on like Facebook and stuff every once in a while. And then within the last couple of years, we kind of started hanging out.
Okay. And I apologize because I don't know how old you are. How long ago did you graduate high school?
God, trying to do the math in my head. So it was 2007 was when I graduated, so.
Okay. I've got a math degree and I'm afraid to do the calculation while everyone's looking at me, so we'll just say 2007. Since you started spending time with Taylor more regularly at some point after high school, how often would the two of you be in contact with each other?
I don't, like, we'd talk every couple weeks, and then at one point she was staying with me, so like every day I saw her. So
How long ago was she staying with you?
it was sometime in 2022. I honestly don't remember the date, like the months though.
Can you remember how long she lived with you?
Probably like 3 months, maybe.
And after you stopped living together, how often would you have contact?
Probably every couple of weeks, you know, at least once a month.
And was that still by Facebook, or did you communicate other ways?
Yeah, that was usually Facebook. There might have been text too, but it was, I think we generally just messaged on Facebook.
So text messages through Facebook?
Yeah.
All right. Do you recall the name associated with her Facebook account?
I think she has her maiden name on there, so it would have been Taylor McKee.
Did you receive a message or messages from Taylor on the evening or late evening hours of March 13th of last year into the early morning hours of March 14th of last year?
I don't recall the exact date, but I assume that's correct. But yes, sometime late at night when I was already in bed, I had received some messages from her.
Okay. Were you awake when those messages came through?
No.
When did you receive the messages, right? That's probably a bad way of putting it. When did you see the messages?
So I saw the messages probably around 7 or 8 a.m. when I got up the next day.
All right. At some point after you received those messages, were you in communication with law enforcement?
Yes, later in that following day, I had reached out to them.
Right. Did you take a screenshot from your phone that showed the messages you'd received from Taylor that night?
Yes, I did.
And did you provide that screenshot to the sheriff?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
So I'm going to hand you what's been marked as Exhibit 54.
Your Honor, I would renew my, or object to Exhibit 54 on grounds previously stated.
The objection is overruled.
Mr. Seemann, taking a look at Exhibit 54, do you know what that is?
Yes, these are the messages she sent me that night.
All right. And does Exhibit 54 fairly and accurately depict the messages that came in on your phone that morning?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd offer State's Exhibit 54.
Ms. Striegel?
Other than my objection that I prematurely raised just a minute ago, I have no other objection to that, but I'd re-raise that on the previous ground.
The objection is overruled.
Your Honor, may I publish the exhibit?
Yes, and Exhibit 54 is admitted into evidence.
Mr. Seemann, would you please read out loud the message you received from Taylor McKee's account that morning, or that night and then right in the morning?
Yeah. So it says, if I get killed, it was Chris. And then she replied, don't reply right now. He's nuts.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Striegel?
Thank you, Your Honor. You just testified that you and Ms. Escontrias never dated,
Yes.
and that you lived together.
Yes, she was needing a place to stay, and so I let her stay there for a couple months.
Okay. And do you recall having a conversation with, well, you testified that you had a conversation with a officer about the message that you received?
Yes. I had,
Yes.
yeah.
And do you recall telling that officer that you had a sexual relationship with Ms. Escontrias?
Yeah, likely, yeah. We were occasionally intimate, but we never dated.
Okay. So, and you recall speaking with that officer and also providing him a copy of a screenshot that you generated, is that right?
Yes, I took a screenshot of the message, and then I also, through Facebook, exported the messages and sent them as well.
Okay. So you took a screenshot and gave it to the officer yourself, correct?
So I had initially contacted the city of Davenport police because they had a post on their Facebook, I think, maybe. But I had messaged them on Facebook with the screenshot, and they had referred me, I guess, to the sheriff who contacted me, and I emailed them it.
Okay. But you're the one that took the screenshot, correct?
Yes.
The police officer did not take the screenshot, is that correct?
No, they did not. I took it.
All right. And it's your testimony that, do you have 54 in front of you?
Yes.
Okay. And it's your testimony that this message is the message that you received on March 13th, 2024.
Yes.
Okay. But there is no date on that exhibit 54, is there?
On the screenshot, no. I think you would have to actually hover over or click on the bubble for that to show up.
But on this screenshot, there's nothing indicating what date it was, is there?
Not that I see, no.
Okay. There is a time, isn't that true?
Yes.
Okay. And the time is 11:34, correct?
Yes.
And at this time, it's your testimony that you received this message from Taylor Escontrias that if I get killed, it was Chris. Correct?
Yes. I would assume it is her, at least, like, it's her account.
Okay. And you knew you had lived with her, correct?
Yes.
And you knew of her drinking, correct?
Yes, she drank a bit.
And she would drink to intoxication, correct?
Occasionally, yes.
And So it's my understanding, based on your testimony, that you saw this message the next day, not the time it was sent, correct?
Yes.
And that you then posted it on the Davenport Police Department Facebook page, is that correct?
I had sent him a Facebook message sometime later in that day. Yeah, it wasn't, I'm not sure what time it was.
You took no other action such as calling 911, is that correct?
No.
And you didn't call Miss Escontrias, did you?
I had messaged her, I think after the fact, I sent her like a GIF or something, like what? And then I, later, when she hadn't responded to that,
Objection, non-responsive.
Overruled.
okay, so, I don't recall where it was. So yes, I had sent her a GIF message, and then I sent her a message saying, "Are you okay?" Or something to that effect.
And it's your testimony that you had been a friend with her since 2007?
Yeah, it was, it would have been, I think, my senior year when I met her, so 2007.
Do you recall telling officers that you were formerly roommates with her?
I don't think I ever used that wording, but yeah, she lived there for like 3 months, so I would consider her a roommate.
And that that was a couple of years ago?
Yes.
And that, do you recall telling officers that you hadn't spoke with her at all around the time of this incident?
No, no. I had been messaging her, I think, a few days before, if not earlier that day.
Nothing further?
Mr. Jones?
Sorry, Judge, no redirect.
All right, you may step down.
Do I do anything?
You may leave that there, sir. My court attendant will get it. Mr. Larson.
Your Honor, the state calls Dylan Carr as a witness.